Okay, so welcome back friends, welcome back in another video tutorial for microbiology with Chagnik. So in that video tutorial we are going to discuss about biofuels. Okay, as we all know that the price of petrol and diesel is constantly increasing, so today we are going to discuss about what thing can be a alternative of those for especially middle class. Okay, so let's start our discussion. So as we all know that petroleum, diesel and use of coal is constantly increasing, and as a result their availability become decreasing, right? Because as they are non-renewable source of energy, right? Because their sources cannot be renewed again. Okay, so instead of using that, scientists starts to thinking about what they can do to fill their the gaps or the place of coal, or in case of petroleum and diesel. Okay, so for that reason they thought that they can use biofuel to replace the use of petrol and diesel. Okay, so although there is a in biofuel there is a subcategory called biogas. This biogas can also be used as a electric. Okay, so this biofuel has the ability to also replace the coal. Okay, because remember, if we constantly use coal, one day the availability of coal will be decreased. Not only that, it can be diminished totally one day. Not only that, it will increase the pollution. Okay, and also economic cost. Okay, that is the reason why we are going to focus on some replacement. Okay, because remember, these replacements are totally based on those things that usually we are considering as a debris or waste. Okay, so scientists starts to use those debris or waste to create something new. Okay, if and that something will not only decrease the pollution, but it will also the economic cost, so that normal people can easily afford it, but also it will reduce the dependency on the foreign. Okay, in terms of particular country. Okay, so as the dependency on foreign, suppose in case of our India, we are largely dependent on Russia on petrol and in terms of petrol and diesel, right? We import large amount of petrol and diesel in from Russia, right? And that is the reason why, due to Russian and Ukraine war, the petrol's price is constantly increasing. Okay, so biofuel is can be a certain option where we Indians become totally free from any kind of foreign dependency, and the cost that we use to, or that we spend to bring the petroleum or diesel, that means the cost that we spend to import petroleum and diesel, we can use that amount of money to develop a infrastructure in home. Okay, that means in our country. So as a result, our country's infrastructure about a particular industry will increase. Okay, it will also decreases the cost and also decreases the pollution. So that how much important this biofuel is. Okay, so biofuel here going to be a source of renewable energy. That means their availability will never be decreased. Okay, so let's start our discussion regarding biofuel and biogas. Remember, biofuel will nullify three problems of us. One is it will decrease the pollution, it will decrease the cost, okay, and it will also decrease the dependency of us on foreign and increase, so that we can use that particular money, or so that we can spend that particular money to develop infrastructure in our country, okay. That is the reason why today government especially promotes the use of biofuel and also production of biofuel, right? So let's start our discussion regarding biogas and biofuel. What is biogas and biofuel? How they can be produced? Okay. So first of all, we are going to start our discussion with that slide where I have summarized what we are going to read today. So biofuel can be divided into four types of fuel, okay. Remember, any kind of fuel that is derived from biomass, okay. Biomass is, in one word, is the waste from any kind of living entity, okay. It can be plant waste, it can be animal waste, no matter. So we can produce biogas. It can be ethanol fuel. How ethanol fuel is related to biofuel, I am going to discuss. And it can be a biodiesel. It can be also hydrogen gas, okay. So these four type of fuel going to be the future of fuel industries, okay. So let's start our discussion regarding biogas. So what is biogas? So biogas is a clean and efficient biofuel, okay, that can be derived or that can be produced by naturally with the help of decomposition of organic matter, okay. So there are two type of techniques that we can use. One is fixed dome type biogas plant, another one is floating gas holder type biogas plant, okay. Among them, fixed dome type biogas plant is most preferable because we can construct them with the help of normal and easily available material, okay, and their construction is also easy, okay, and also environmental friendly, okay. I think you got it. So the first type of biofuel that we have learned is the biogas, okay. So biogas can be produced with the help of organic matter decomposition. Here the first thing that we need to do, we will create a big hole in soil, and then we will create a cylinder like area, especially made up of concrete, okay. This concrete, this cylinder, or what we should say, the position where we are going to keep our organic matter should be made up of concrete, remember, so that it will not going to react with soil, otherwise it can promote soil pollution, okay. So after that we will keep all the debris or waste materials, that can be agricultural waste, that can be municipal waste, that can be plant waste, and anything, okay, housekeeping waste. So after the fulfillment of the area, we will simply cover them with, okay, although my drawing is not too good, okay. So we will simply cover them, okay. So with time there will be the organic matter decomposition and it will create biogas, okay. Remember, there are four important components of biogas. The most important constituent is methane, whose amount is near about 65% of the total biogas. Then it has hydrogen, it has hydrogen sulfide and also carbon dioxide, okay. So now there will be a pipe like apparatus present. From that apparatus we will use the biogas, okay. It can be used for cooking, it can be used for driving cars, and it can be also used for electricity, okay. So biogas will nullify at a time the use of non-renewable energy, what they are, we are using biogas as electricity, okay, that means here the use of coal is nullified, right? Then we are using biogas to driving cars, right? So use of petroleum is also nullified, okay, although in not totally. Here we are going to mix them, we are going to discuss. That is the idea of biogas, okay. And remember, there will be another small area present where there will be the production of manure, okay. This manure later can be used to produce biofertilizer. That means biogas also facilitate the production of biofertilizer. And as we have already seen in our biofertilizers video, that biofertilizer promote plant growth, okay. That means biogas also in turn helps in agriculture also, okay. So I hope you have got the point, right? So this is the fixed dome type biogas plant mainly, okay. So that is the thing that you need to know about biogas. Now ethanol. So the first thing is, this ethanol fuel is exactly the ethyl alcohol. The ethyl alcohol that you can also find in case of alcoholic beverages, okay. So how ethanol is produced? Ethanol is produced by the fermentation of molasses using Saccharomyces cerevisiae. I think you all know. Now the question is, why ethanol is regarded as a biofuel? Because remember, ethanol can burn cleanly, okay, even cleaner than biodiesel, okay. And ethanol also reduces the greenhouse gas emission and also not promotes pollution, okay. So that is why ethanol is also considered as biofuel. And why biofuel? Because I have told you that any kind of energy that is derived from biomass, it will be called as biofuel. So here remember, we are using molasses. Molasses is nothing but sugar canes, right? And sugar canes is coming from what? Sugar canes is coming from any kind of biological entity, right? So that is the concept. So ethanol fuel can be used in those engines that have the ability to burn gasolines, okay. That means those engines that we are using in cars especially, okay. So now let's move to the biodiesel. Although we are going to discuss about how biodiesel is produced in that video too, but let's see about biodiesel in short form for now. So biodiesel, here the organic material is fat, in case of if we are going to derive our organic material from animal, and in case of plant there will be oil, okay. And we are going to use methanol, okay. This methanol will derive the fatty acid from the fat, because remember, fat is nothing but a composition of glycerol and fatty acid, okay. So this fatty acid is in turn nothing but a hydrocarbon chain, okay. So this fatty acid can be used as a diesel. Not only that, the glycerol, that is the another compound, this glycerol can be converted into glycerin, okay. And this glycerin will in turn facilitate the production of manure, and this manure can again be used as a biofertilizer, okay. So biodiesel also provide their contribution in agriculture too, okay. So animal, in case of animal we are using fat, and in case of plant we are using oil, okay. And with that we have to use methanol, although we are going to use another also important components such as KOH, which will act as a catalyst, and sulfuric acid, that will facilitate the mixture of methanol or methanol and animal fat and plant oil, okay. And the engines that burns diesels, although I have forgotten to mention here, so engines that burns diesels such as trucks, such as large vehicles that usually use diesels such as tractors, use biodiesel, okay. So biogas is derived from the organic material decomposition, okay. Here the main component is methane. In case of ethanol, we are producing ethanol via fermentation of molasses using Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay, so this ethanol fuel help us to drive cars because it can be used in engines that have the ability to burn gasoline. And then we have learnt about biodiesel. So this biodiesel can be produced from animals such as fat, and in case of plant it will be oil along with methanol. Okay, it will give biodiesel by simply breaking the fatty acid from glycerol. Okay, and then the last one is the future of the fuel that we are not extensively using nowadays, that is hydrogen gas. Okay, although its use will be increased in upcoming time. Okay, so how hydrogen gas is obtained? Hydrogen gas is obtained with the help of a process called biophotolysis. Okay, where we are simply isolating the molecular hydrogen from water. Okay, in presence of bacteria who are photoautotropic bacteria. Okay, and also in presence of sunlight, this hydrogen, molecular hydrogen, will be used as a hydrogen gas. So this is the basic concept of biofuel. I hope you have got it, what I am trying to discuss with you. Okay, so the first biofuel is biogas, second one is ethanol, third one is biodiesel, and the last one is hydrogen gas. So let's move our discussion. Okay, so now it is time to go back in slides. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so now let's continue. So here we are going to discuss something theoretically, then at last we are going to discuss about how biodiesel can be produced. Although I have discussed everything about biofuel already. So biogas is a clean and efficient fuel. So it is a mixture of methane, carbon dioxide, along with carbon dioxide, hydrogen, hydrogen sulfide. The chief constituent of biogas is methane, 65%. Production of biogas can be of two types: the fixed dome type of biogas plant and the floating gas type of biogas plant. Okay, what are the advantages of floating type, fixed dome type of biogas plant? First of all, require only locally easily available material for construction, right? You need just a concrete to create your place to keep the organic material, and organic materials is just the waste product, right? So it is also inexpensive and easy to construct. What are the applications? So Sweden have made a huge success in biogas. They developed biogas bus and biogas train names Amanda. So advantages of biogas as a fuel, don't try to remember it, just try to feel it, so you can easily write it. Okay, so it will provide high calorific value. Okay, clean fuel, no residue produced, because remember here we are not using any kind of coal like particles. No smoke produced, non-polluting, although if the place where we are going to keep the organic material is not well deconstructed, so there can be a chance of soil pollution. Also economical, we are just using wastage to create something new, right? So it should be economical. Can be supplied through pipelines. I have discussed about. Burn readily and has a convenient ignition temperature. So the component is methane, so it will obviously burn readily, right? So high calorific value, clean fuel, no residue produced, no smoke produced, non-polluting, economical, can be supplied through pipeline and burns readily and has a convenient ignition temperature. So now let's discuss about some basic definition. Biofuel, I have already discussed that any fuel that is derived from biomass should be called as biofuel. Okay, biofuel is considered to be a renewable source. Biogas is a type of biofuel naturally derived from decomposition of organic material, okay, in the absence of oxygen. So useful organisms are Methanobacterium, Clostridium, Pseudomonas and Cellulomonas. Okay, Raw materials, I have discussed with you that raw materials will be nothing but the wastes, municipal waste, agricultural waste, plant materials, sewage, food waste. Now, what is ethanol fuel? Ethanol fuel is nothing but the thing that we can found in case of alcohol beverages, that is the ethyl alcohol. It can be used as fuel too, because it burn more cleanly even than biodiesel. It will reduces the greenhouse emission, and it will also renewable fuel because it is produced by biomass. Okay, so remember one thing, ethanol fuel can be used in those engines that can burn gasoline. Okay, and not just pure ethanol is used. Ethanol is mixed up with petrol. Okay, that means 50% ethanol, 50% petrol is the bioethanol. Okay, now let's start the biodiesel. Biodiesel is nothing but fuel obtained from vegetable oil, waste oil or animal fat in presence of methanol and KOH and sulfuric acid. Biodiesel is used in engines that have the ability to burn diesel fuel like large truck and tractors. So what is hydrogen gas? I have also discussed this to you, that hydrogen gas is considered to be the fuel of future. Hydrogen gas is released during biophotolysis of water in which bacteria perform the photoreduction. Biophotolysis is the process by which water dissociates into molecular hydrogen and oxygen in biological systems in the presence of what? In the presence of light. Okay, so that is the various theoretical point that you need to remember about the biogas and biofuel. Now we are going to discuss about how you can make biodiesel. Okay, that is the important point of that concept. Okay friends, so now we are going to discuss about how we can make biodiesel. So remember, as I have told you that in case of biofuel if we want to produce biodiesel from animals, then we have to use fat, and if we want to use plant, then we have to use oil. Okay, you cannot get fat in plant. Okay, the thing that you need to remember, that fat is nothing but a composition of glycerol and fatty acid. Okay, so our goal will be to separate that glycerol and fatty acid, because fatty acid is nothing but hydrocarbon chain. So this hydrocarbon chain will develop the biodiesel. Okay, so now raw materials: animal source fat, plant source oil, edible oil. Okay, so now here another two important thing that we are using, methanol and KOH. KOH, remember, here just takes the role of catalyst. Okay, so this is the normal basic construction of the biodiesel production. Let me discuss. So this is the mixing chamber. Okay, and this is the heart of the biodiesel process where we are performing the reaction. There will be a separator and also another chamber where we are going to produce the glycerin. Okay, from glycerol. So what will be the idea? First of all, in the mixing chamber we will add methanol, we will add fat or oil. Okay, then we will add sulfuric acid. Okay, so this sulfuric acid, remember, facilitate the mixing between methanol and if fat in case of animal and oil in case of plant. Okay, so there will be a rotor that will mix them well. Then this mixture will be transferred into the reaction chamber where we are going to add methanol and KOH. Okay, this methanol and KOH will facilitate the reaction, and that means just the separation of glycerol and fatty acid. Okay, then we will transfer them in the separation chamber where there will be two sensors. Okay, so when our solution will be in separator chamber, remember one thing, that there will be two things. The first will be our biodiesels, that is nothing but the fatty acid. This fatty acid will be floating on the top, and in the bottom there will be glycerol. Okay, so this fatty acid we will simply extract those fatty acid, that is biodiesels, and there will be a purification process too. Okay, so after the purification process we will get the biodiesel that we can use. Okay, and the glycerol that is at the bottom, we are going to separate them too in a chamber. Okay, and remember, with glycerol there can be some methanol too. Okay, and in that chamber we will add some chemicals that is not too much important to know for now. This glycerol will convert it into glycerins. Okay, and these methanols now will be converting into methane. This methanol now will be converting into manures. Okay, so that is the concept regarding biodiesel separation. Okay, so I hope that you have learned about how biodiesel can be produced. Okay, so I am repeating the concept that there will be a mixing chamber, there will be a reaction chamber, there will be a separation chamber. Okay, and there will be also a chamber where we are going to convert glycerol into glycerin, along with methanol will also convert it into manure. Okay, this manure we can use for biofertilization. So what is the concept? The fat, if we are using the animal source, and in case of oil if we are using plant source, along with methanol. Okay, in the mixing chamber, and we will add also sulfuric acid in the mixing chamber. So there will be a rotor that will mix them. Okay, sulfuric acid, remember, here facilitate the mixing, then they will be transferred in the reaction chamber where we are going to add methanol and KOH. Remember, here the role of KOH is a catalyst. Okay, and once you have add the KOH, the reaction will start. After the reaction chamber, we will transfer them into a transfer chamber. There the solution becomes divided into two parts. One is glycerol containing, that will be at the bottom, and our biodiesel, that is nothing but fatty acid, will float at the top. Okay, we will simply separate our biodiesel out, purify them and use them. Okay, and glycerol will also be separated in another chamber where we are converting glycerol into glycerin, along with the methanol that is also present by chance converted into manures, and this manure will also later going to be a biofertilizer. Okay, so that is the concept of biodiesels. Okay, so that is what we have discussed today. Okay, so that is the basic concept of biofuel, the fuel that can be affordable for people like us. Okay, so these fuels will be our future, right? So biofuels can be divided into four parts. One is biogas, where we are decomposing organic materials, right? Here the main components is methane. Okay, there are two type of procedure by which we can produce biogas. One is fixed dome type biogas, another one is floating gas holder type biogas. Okay, fixed dome type biogas plant is the more preferable. Then we have ethanol, right? So ethanol, we will use ethanol for running cars. Okay, because it can replace gasolines, right? So ethanol can be produced by fermentation of molasses in presence of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Then we have discussed about biodiesels. Biodiesels, we will use oil if we are using plant, and if we are using fat, that means we are going to produce biodiesel from animals. Okay, methanol will be required, KOH will be required, and sulfuric acid will be required as the extra material for the production of biogas. And hydrogen gas is the new addition, where we are using biophotolysis to extract molecular hydrogen, okay, from water, okay, and here microorganism, that is photoautotrophs, are required, and sunlight are required to production of hydrogen gas, okay. So I hope that this video will be helpful to you, and please hit the like button if you find it helpful, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel to get more videos like that. So thank you for listening to this class.